Welcome back everyone to the CETI channel. Today we have got a fascinating guest whose name is Ahmed. So Ahmed, before we have this lovely conversation, could you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Good morning everyone. My name is Yunus Ahmed. So I'm currently pursuing my Bachelor's of Engineering in Osmania University, Civil Engineering.
Okay. So Ahmed, you said engineering. So how was your experience in the whole competitive exam setup? What were the things you liked about it? What were the things you did not like about it?
Well, if we talk about the pros of the exam, I feel that the government is selecting more and more competent people who are fit for the positions that they are allotting. And what I feel not proper about is the reservation system, to be more precise.
So before we touch upon reservation, I want to understand from you. So how many hours would you say you spent, preparing for these competitive exams?
Well, if I say during the serious gap of exam and it was probably, if we talk about before a month of the exam, I was preparing for about 9 to 10 hours.
That is fascinating. And do you think engineering being a field where we have had a lot of geniuses who have made wonderful structures, wonderful systems, to focus so much on cracking an exam which does not promote free thinking, do you think that is a correct way of measuring someone who could be a good engineer?
Well, I think we should change the scenario of the way we are thinking, because if we are a bit qualified, that is, if we are qualifying for the exam, that means we are competent enough to become a good engineer who will be taking wise decisions.
That is fair. Now you mentioned that you had a few problems with the reservation system. Could you elaborate on that as well?
Well, before I totally criticize the reservation system, we need to understand the difference between equity and equality. So if you see the reservation in the bus which is given in Telangana state, so the women are being given the free bus fare. So this is equality, because not based on caste, creed and the occupation they are upon, they are being given the free bus fare. But if you see in the equity system, more and more data will be collected from the individual, and in that way they will be setting standards, such as if the woman is working in GHMC or some low paid jobs, or if she is a housewife, then she will be given total free bus fare. But if she is a good job occupant, then little margin will be given.
Let's focus a bit more. I want to know what your issue is with reservations in competitive exams. We'll discuss this separately at a later time, but specifically in regards to competitive exams, what was the criticism you were highlighting?
Well, I think if you see some categories will be getting lower and lower qualifying marks or percentile. So I think that's the point I would like to highlight.
Don't you think, Emma, that considering the historical oppression that people of this community have been through, not having access to food during preparation, not having access to lights while studying, not having access to tuitions, not having access to classrooms with ACs, with fans, forget that, not having access to classrooms, and still being able to write a highly competitive exam like this, don't you think some sort of leeway is necessary? Also, because I have not even mentioned the violence that has taken place with these people for years and years.
To cover up what they have been through, what I think is the authorities should pay more attention on how they are preparing for the exam rather than giving less percentile. And also, if we want to give more and more reservation, it should be on some sort of fee structure rather than giving a less percentile.
When you say fee structure, you have to understand that many of these people come from families that don't earn more than 2,000 rupees a month.
If that's the case, then as we are giving free bus fare, we can even give the free tuition free, right?
Yeah. So from what seems to me
in the
that you are in
perspective-
support of reservation.
Exactly, but
So you are in support of reservation.
I'm in support of reservation, but what we need to understand is what reservation we are giving. Not totally reducing the percentiles, but giving compensation in fee, giving proper tuition for preparation of the exams. That would be a better way of taking.
So you do
reservation.
realize that recently a study had taken place where it had shown that students who come from scheduled caste, scheduled tribe categories, their grades match the ones which are in the general category, but because they are from those categories, they are still given the reserve seat. They are not allowed to have the general seat. So while I do take your point about reduced marks not being a good thing, we also have to realize that that is not always the scenario. But anyways, Ahmed, I think I have gone over time. Thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to continuing this conversation later.